Hey everyone, and welcome to today's explainer. Step into my work boots for a second, will you? As an agricultural consultant, I spend my entire life out in the fields, inspecting crops, and most importantly, digging into the soil that actually supports them. So today, we're going to conduct a strict, totally uncompromising audit of one very specific batch of organic fertilizer. We're not just taking marketing claims at face value here. We're diving straight into the raw, unvarnished data. Because, let's be real, when you're managing hundreds or even thousands of hectares, you need to know exactly what you're putting into the ground. Which brings us to a really fundamental question. How do we actually guarantee the true quality of an organic fertilizer? Every single farmer, agronomist, and procurement manager faces this exact same headache. I mean, the agricultural market is just flooded with products promising absolute miracle yields and overnight soil transformations. But out in the real world, hope isn't a strategy. To truly verify a product's efficacy, we need total transparency. We need a certificate of analysis that can hold up to some extreme scrutiny. And that is exactly what we're going to tear apart today. All right, so for this audit, the product under our microscope comes from Hyundai Technology Co., Ltd. In modern agriculture, having complete traceability straight back to the source is absolutely non-negotiable. When we're evaluating something like potassium humate, knowing exactly who the manufacturer is really sets our baseline for accountability. So we're going to put Hyundai Technology's product to the test and see if it actually holds up to the rigorous, zero margin for error demands of professional, high-yield farming. Okay, let's dive into this. Let's look at the raw logistics of the material we're auditing. We are dealing with batch number 202-50216, manufactured right on February 16, 2025. And check out that quantity, 50,000 kilograms. That is a massive commercial-scale production run. We've also got a guaranteed shelf life of 2 years. Now, right off the bat, two things stand out to me as a consultant. First, we're dealing with a super fresh product. And second, that 2-year stability, that means large farming cooperatives can securely stockpile this massive supply without sweating over rapid degradation. Let's get into the chemistry, starting with the overarching organic matter content, guaranteed at greater than or equal to 80%. I just want to let that number sink in for a second. To put that into perspective, increasing your soil's organic matter by just 1 measly percent can help that soil hold up to 20,000 extra gallons of water per acre. So starting our audit with an 80% baseline means we are dealing with an incredibly dense, carbon-rich powerhouse, not just a bag full of empty fillers. This is the sponge that holds moisture, the absolute foundation for microbial life, and literally the structural building block of healthy topsoil. Now, here's where we hit the absolute core of this product's efficacy. Humic acid guaranteed at greater than or equal to 55%. If you want true soil rehabilitation, this is the metric you zero in on. Think of humic acid as nature's ultimate soil conditioner. It has a massive cationic exchange capacity, which is just a fancy way of saying it acts like a giant magnet. It grabs onto all those locked up useless nutrients in your soil and suddenly makes them bioavailable to your plant's roots. It aggressively breaks up compacted clay, drastically improves aeration, and completely stops vital nutrients from just washing away in sandy soils. Honestly, this 55% concentration is the definitive lab-backed proof of its immense power for long-term soil health. But here's the thing. Humic acid doesn't work a solo shift. We also have fulvic acid at greater than or equal to 50%. That is an exceptionally high concentration, and it pairs perfectly with the humic acid. While humic acid is out there tirelessly conditioning the physical soil structure, fulvic acid is this smaller, hyperactive molecule. It acts almost like a high-speed nutrient delivery vehicle. Because of its microscopic size, it actually crosses right through the plant's cellular membranes, carrying vital trace minerals straight into the metabolic system. Stacking 50% fulvic on top of 55% humic, that creates an incredibly powerful synergistic effect for both your soil base and your immediate crop. Rounding out our active ingredient audit, we've got our primary macronutrient, potassium oxide, sitting really robustly at greater than or equal to 12%. Potassium is, of course, one of the big 3 essential nutrients, and it's absolutely vital out in the field. It actually regulates the opening and closing of plant stomata, making it the primary driver for drought resistance and overall water efficiency. Plus, it's the critical nutrient for fruit sizing, weight, and general crop vigor. So this 12% guarantee means that alongside that massive soil conditioning, we are delivering a really potent immediate nutritional payload. Okay, so the crucial next step is understanding how these chemical metrics translate into actual physical properties, starting with the pH level, which comes in at 9 to 10. Now, that's highly alkaline. So, why does a consultant care about this? Well, in the field, alkaline potassium humate is used very strategically. It is incredibly effective when you apply it to overly acidic soils, helping to buffer that pH right back toward a neutral zone where root systems actually want to function. It also heavily dictates how we mix things in the spray tank. Knowing we have a pH of 9 to 10 is essential for proper agronomic management and making sure we don't trigger any unwanted chemical reactions. Beyond just the chemistry, physical versatility is a huge deal. Hyundai Technology offers this stuff in granules, powder, and flake forms. Now, this specific 50,000 kilogram batch we're auditing today, it consists of their black flakes. But knowing the full lineup is important because obviously different farm setups require completely different physical handling. Granules are fantastic for mechanical broadcasting. Powders give you hyperfast dissolution, but these black flakes really hit a sweet spot. They're super easy to handle, way less dusty than fine powders, but they still provide phenomenal solubility when you're doing liquid applications. And speaking of liquid applications, the lab report gives us a genuinely crucial guarantee: completely water-soluble. Guys, I literally cannot overstate how important this is. In modern precision agriculture, we rely heavily on drip irrigation and foliar feeding. If a product isn't 100% soluble, you are going to spend your entire growing season out there unclogging irrigation emitters and replacing blown spray nozzles. Complete water solubility means this massive payload of humic acid, fulvic acid, and potassium can be delivered seamlessly, uniformly, and efficiently right into the root zone. No clogs, no headaches. Shifting over to the logistics side of the certificate, we have a packing specification of 1 kilogram per bag. I always review these handling details because, trust me, logistics matter just as much as the chemistry. A 1 kilo bag is incredibly practical for the end user. It allows for highly precise dosing per hectare without the absolute nightmare of trying to weigh out messy bulk material on the back of a tractor in the wind. It completely reduces waste, keeps the unused product perfectly sealed and fresh, and makes inventory tracking across a large commercial farm totally straightforward. So bringing all this data together leads us right to the formal conclusion on the document. The quality of this product officially conforms to the requirements of in-house specifications. And as your consultant today, after reviewing that 80% organic matter, the massive humic and fulvic profiles, and that perfect solubility, I wholeheartedly agree with the verdict. The numbers just do not lie. Mathematically and physically, this batch checks every single box required to be classified as a premium agricultural input. But data is really only as solid as the folks standing behind it. To validate this entire audit, we had the official stamp of Hyundai Technology Co. Ltd., alongside the authorized signature of Marvin Lee. In an industry where traceability is quite literally everything, this signature is our final anchor of trust. It means a specific, accountable quality control manager has reviewed this exact 50,000 kilogram batch, verified those lab results, and legally signed off on its efficacy. And that is exactly the kind of ironclad assurance you need before you deploy a product across your acreage. Well, we've audited the numbers, we've verified the chemistry, and we've confirmed the logistics. So I'm going to leave you with one final provocative thought. With a guaranteed 80% organic matter, the incredibly powerful synergy of humic and fulvic acids actively conditioning your soil, and absolutely complete water solubility, how could this strictly audited potassium humate transform your next crop cycle? Whether you're battling compacted soil, poor nutrient retention, or severe drought stress, the data clearly proves this is a formidable tool. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this deep dive empowers you to make confident, data-driven decisions for your fields.